Yeah, hello, a very warm welcome to ANIL NAIR classes. We'll discuss today about a new topic, that is question tag. So that means, like the name itself says, that towards the end we will be asking a question, right? One statement will be there. After the statement, a small question will be there. That's called as the question tag. Let's move ahead to the next slide. So what exactly is a question tag? It's like one statement will be there, right? After that statement, to confirm that, one comma will be there, and to confirm that, one small question will be there, right? Like isn't it, aren't you, or something like that, right? Won't you? So like that kind of a question will be there. So a very small question. So that means one statement followed by a comma and a small question. We use these question tags to confirm certain things, right? So you want to confirm that whatever has been stated in that statement is right, right? So give that confirmation, you ask a small question. So in question tag, a statement is made in a question, made and a question is asked after that. For example, are you busy? Aren't you? So this is a statement which is there. Are you busy? Now to confirm it, you have used the question, aren't you? Next example, ANIL NAIR classes is the best institute for preparing for government jobs. Isn't it? Now you have given one statement and you're confirming it and you're saying, isn't it? Now there are some basic rules. 4 basic rules are there which you should always keep it in mind while doing your question text, right? So the first thing is, the sentence as well as the question tag must be in the same tense. You cannot have a khichdi of the tense. You cannot have one word sentence in the present tense and a question tag in the past tense, or a vice versa. Both should be in the same tense. Now, if the sentence is an affirmative sentence, the question tag will be negative, right? Now, if the question tag is a negative sentence, the question tag will be positive. It's just the opposite. For a positive sentence, the question tag will be negative. For a negative sentence, the question tag will be positive. That's it. We will always use a pronoun in the question tag, right? The fourth and the last rule is, negative question tags, we use contracted form of the helping verb and not, right? So we'll say hasn't, couldn't, etc. Next, rules for the affirmative question tags will be negative. So in the affirmative sentence, the question tag will be negative, right? So let's have some example. A good student always work hard. So it's an affirmative sentence, one statement you have made. So you'll ask a negative question like, doesn't he? Teacher goes to school daily. It's again a positive sentence. So you'll say, doesn't he? Madhu plucks flowers, right? You made a positive statement. Doesn't she? You appeared at this SSC examination, didn't you? Helmet makes driving safe, doesn't it? So you see the tense. Works is in the present tense. Doesn't is also in the present tense. Goes present tense. Again doesn't present tense. Plucks present, doesn't present. Appeared is in the past. Didn't you is in the past. Makes is in the present tense. Doesn't is in the present tense. Got it? And since this is affirmative sentence, all the tags were in the negative. Not was coming there. So in the negative sentences, the question tags will be positive. All the children were not present. So it's a negative sentence. So tag will be positive. Were they? See the tense. Were is in the past. Again here also were is in the past. Everybody cannot be clever. So it's a negative sentence. So tag should be positive. Can they? Can. The same tense is there. Now there are certain examples of the sentences where they use these auxiliary modal verbs like can, could, will, would, may, might, must, shall, should, ought to, need, would, rather, had, better, dare. So these are called the auxiliary modals. Then tag will be shall not, will not, won't, can, can't, etc. depending upon whether positive or negative is used. Let's see some examples. A healthy body can achieve the impossible. Can't it? A student should be regular in studies. Shouldn't he? It's a positive sentence, right? So the tag is in the negative. Here you have can, so here can't. Should is there, so it should be shouldn't he. Everybody cannot drive, right? Can they? So in the sentence you have used can. So in the question tag also can is there. And it's a negative sentence, so the tag is in the positive. Everybody should wear a seat belt while driving. So should is there, so it should be shouldn't they. Every water animals can breathe underwater. So it's can, so it should be can't they. Now you have some pronouns like everyone, everybody, no one, nobody, all are singular. So we'll use a singular verb with them or a singular pronoun with them. But in question tag, a plural verb and a plural pronoun will be used. It's just the opposite, right? So we know that all the words which are ending with one, body and thing, we know they are singular. Even though they are singular, in question tag we will use the plural form. This is an exception, remember it. Everybody has to pay his own bill. So we have used the singular pronoun his because it is everybody. But haven't they? Have is the plural. Although everybody is singular, we are using have. Although everybody is singular, we are using they. Clear? None of your friends have arrived yet. Have they? Now, none is singular, right? Verb is also has over here, but still we'll use have they. Clear? For affirmative and imperative sentences, we should use will you or won't you in the question tag. Be assured of cooperation. It's an imperative sentence. So, will you? Switch on the cooler. Will you? Please give me the documents. It's again an imperative sentence. Won't you? Kindly take a seat. Will you? So either you're using will you or won't you when the sentence is imperative. Remember that. Next, for negative imperative sentences, we use will you as a question tag. So if it is negative, we will use will you only. Right? Don't touch the wire. Will you? Don't litter here. Will you? Don't make a noise in the class. Will you? So you see all the negative imperative sentences are there and we have used will. Clear? Now for imperative sentences which begin with letters, when suggestion or a proposal is being made, the question tag should be shall we. Right? Like when you have suggestion or a proposal, so tag should be shall we. Let us go for a movie. Shall we? Let us help her to complete the work. Shall we? Let us go to meet her. Shall we? For imperative sentences beginning with let but not followed by us, the question tag will be will you? Let Madhu go. Will you? Let them do their homework. Will you? Let the laborer go. Will you? See, the let is not followed by us, so then it is will you. If it is followed by us, then it shall be shall we. For imperative sentences having nothing, anything, everything, something, the subject, the question tag will have it as the pronoun, right? So everything has gone bad today, hasn't it? Everything is clear, isn't it? Nothing can revive this worst situation, can it? Now, if any sentence has used to in it, then the question tag will be used not and didn't. He used to come here, isn't he? Isn't he? He used to play the Casio very well, didn't he? Now we have the words like never, no, nobody, hardly, seldom, scarcely, few, little, not, none, rarely, etc. are negative words, right? So the question tag will not be negative because they are all negative. A barking dog seldom bites. Does it? Okay, so in exclamatory sentences, the question tag will contain the auxiliary verb. Now this auxiliary verb means it is the helping verbs, right? What are those helping verbs like is, are, was, were, right? So how beautiful the garden is, isn't it? How big the slide is, isn't it? How nicely the birds sing, isn't it? So these are all exclamatory sentences and at the end we have used the question tag. May is as a helping verb or the auxiliary verbs. Now when we talk about like moon, earth, river, motherland, country, ship, train, they are all treated as feminine gender. And in the question tag, the pronoun used will be she instead of she, it can also be used. Either you use it or you use she because this moon, earth, river, motherland, these are all having the feminine characteristics. So they have personified and they take it that, okay, fine, they have the feminine gender characteristics, right? So for that matter, anything which is very soft, beautiful, sophisticated, right? That gentle, delicate things, right? So those things we will use, personify them into the feminine gender only. The Titanic was thought to be unsinkable, wasn't she? So now here they have personified the ship Titanic and they are using it as she. Or you can say it also. India has never attacked any country. Has she? So now India, they are personifying it. It's a country, but personifying as the feminine gender, right? Bharat Mata, right? So that's why has she. Next one, there is no contracted form of am not, right? So doesn't exist only. So in question tag, are not is aren't is only used. We cannot use am not. There's nothing like amn't. So I am little late today. Aren't I? Because I ke saath mein we always use the plural form of the verb only. I am confident. Aren't I? But if the question tag to be used is not contracted form, that am I can be used. So I am not late today. So without the contraction, if you're using, then you can write am I. Or you can also say I am a little late today, right? So not is there, so we have to use the contraction. But when I say I am no, see, when the negative is there, we have to use the positive. So we will say we will not use not. So then contraction is not needed. So we can say am I. I am not busy. Am I? But if the positive sentence is there, then we cannot use am. We have to use the negative question text. So that time aren't only will be there. Now if the subject of the sentence is there, one, this, that, these, those, right? This, that, these, those, or there and one. Then the question tag will contain there, one, this, etc. as the pronoun, right? So there is a book on the table. Isn't there? So there is used as the subject. In the beginning it is there. So that is why isn't there. One cannot find a solution to this problem. Can one? So one is the subject, right? That's why. Now the next one is, if the collective nouns are used in the singular form, so the question tag will have a singular verb and a singular pronoun. So the class has selected its monitor. Hasn't it? So class is a collective noun used as singular. So hasn't it? A singular pronoun and a singular verb has been used. The team has played very well. Hasn't it? So team is a collective noun used as singular. So we'll use has as a singular verb and it as a singular verb. But if the collective noun is not treated as a single unit, we use a plural verb and a plural pronoun. There's an exception, right? The team have to arrange on their own for their own shoes. So that means all the team members individually have to go and buy their own shoes. So we see have and there is there, which helps us to know that they are considered individually, separately, right? So that it will be haven't they. Now we have to give the question tag for some of the questions. So the first one, cricket is more popular today. So cricket is what? Singular. Is there, right? And it's a positive sentence. So the question tag has to be negative. So it will be what? Isn't it? Every action has an opposite reaction, right? So it is singular. So it will be hasn't it. I am a student of ANIL NAIR classes. So then it should be, it is positive. So it has to be negative. So then negative may it should be aren't I. I had a bad headache yesterday. Had, right? So it should be hadn't I. It is an important matter. Isn't it? Right? So all of them are positive. So the question tags are negative. Next, I am happy. So it's a positive thing. So it should be aren't I. The jury gave different opinions. So jury gave different opinions. Didn't they? The kid is crying, right? So isn't he, or you can say it also. It was a terrible accident, right? So wasn't it? We must eat vegetables. So mustn't we? Next, love the poor. Won't you? I am taking tea. Aren't you? We should love country. Should is there, so it should be what? Shouldn't we? Everything was all right. So everything is singular. Was is there. So wasn't it? We were warned for the danger. Were is there. We is there. So it should be weren't we, right? So it's a positive. To negative may what it will be? Aren't I? Neither of them were responsible. So it is were responsible. That means they were not responsible. So you will say were they. You see positive. It's a negative sentence. So the question tag has to be positive. Man is mortal. So it is positive. So you'll say, isn't he? I am tired. It's a positive. So it should be, aren't I? Either you or your brother came here. So it should be, didn't you? Next one. Frank cast his magic spell in the laboratory. So it's a positive. So it will be, didn't he? Nobody cheated on the exam. So we told that nobody is a singular, but still will say, did they? Right? So it's negative. So it has to be positive. Ice touches cold. Right? So we'll say, doesn't it? Nobody dared to do it. So nobody is singular, but we'll use the plural pronoun they. And what you'll say, doesn't they? Did they, sorry. Did they? It is an important matter. Isn't it? Next. Nobody believes you. Nobody is singular. So it will be, do they? Somebody will say so. Will is there. So it will be, won't they? It hardly rains during the dry. So it should be what? Does it? Because it is negative, right? There are many mistakes in his composition. Aren't they? It is easy to say. Isn't it? Right? Next one. There are some problems here. So it should be what? Aren't there? There is little water in the pot. Isn't it? It is quite a big garden. Isn't it? There are 6 seasons in Bangladesh. So it will be what? Aren't there? There has been an accident. Hasn't there? Next one. She needs to buy a pen. So it should be what? Doesn't she? Nobody believes a liar. So nobody is singular, but still we'll say, do they? And the plural pronoun also will be there. One of the legs of the table has been broken. So if it is again one, we'll say what? Hasn't one? It has been fasting. She has been fasting. So it should be, doesn't she? The poor are born to suffer. Aren't they? Someone went there. So it should be what? Didn't they? Sultan thanked the Qazi. So it should be again past tense. It should be, didn't he? Past tense, past tense. Nobody called me. So nobody is singular. So we'll say, did they? Nobody came. Did they? 45. Hassan earned very little money. Didn't he? So you see everything over here in this entire slide, all the verbs are in the past. So the question tag is also in the past only. Next one. The baby is innocent. So isn't it? The to err is human. Isn't it? We had better discuss something else. Hadn't we? Because here had is there, here also had will be there. The baby is playing. Isn't he? Or isn't it, we can say. It was a good tiffin. Wasn't it? Grandmother can tell good stories. Can't she? Nobody is impossible in this world. Nobody is singular. So aren't they? The book is rare now. Isn't it? The fisherman catches fish. Don't they? She is happy. Isn't she? Next one. She does not like bad films. Does she? She has never visited Taj Mahal. Has she? You are my friend. You are not my friend. So it will be positive. Are you? He sat by me. Didn't he? Kindly do me a favor. You ask, will you? So she does not like bad films. So it's a negative thing. So it should be, the question tag will be positive. So it will be, does she? She has never visited Taj Mahal. So this is negative. So this has to be positive. So it will be, has she? You are not my friend. Are you? He sat by me. Didn't he? Kindly do me a favor. So will you? Next one. Let us let a sleeping dog sleep. Will you? So we have learned that when let is there, that time we put will. So next one is let her come in. So that will again be will you? She is pretty, isn't she? Tariq came from Ghazipur. Didn't he? Nothing can satisfy him. Can it? Next one. Hassan put the book on his reading table. This is the positive sentence. So it has to be didn't he? You need not depend upon others. Need you? The same verb is coming. Keep focus on that. Blind men cannot see anything. Can they? We should love country. Should is there, so shouldn't we? You dare not drive at night. Dare you? Next one. You must do it. Mustn't you? Blind men can't read. Can they? Don't boil rice. Will you? Get out. Won't you? Give me a glass of water. Will you? Next one. Let us go home. So shall we? So when let us is there, that time we use shall. So always remember, when only let is there, we use will. When let us is there, we have to use shall. Let us go out for a walk. So it is shall we? Let us have a cup of coffee. Shall we? Nothing can concern you. Can it? He has a few friends. Has he? Next one. Don't bother him. So will you? He has a little idea about it. Has he? Nothing can help you now. Can it? Close the window. Will you? Come and see me again. Will you? Next one. Sit down. Will you? It's an imperative sentence, right? There is little water in the jar. Is there? Don't be late. Will you? My friends and I hardly go there. Do we? My friends know you. Don't they? Next one. My friends hardly come here. Do they? He hardly realizes it. So, does he? How sweetly the bird sings. Don't they? He hardly studies. Does he? Grandmother can tell good stories. Can't she? Next one. Her mother couldn't walk. Could she? Laila knows you. Doesn't she? How nicely she writes. Doesn't she? Anil Nair conducts classes early in the morning. Doesn't it? We are all wishers, aren't we? Next one. So the next set of questions is like fill in the blanks, it will come. In that you have to see which one is the correct options. The 4 options will be given. It will rain soon. So will is there, so it will be won't it, because the same model has to be here. It is will over here, so the same thing will we have to use. We cannot use anything else. They need not worry. So this is negative, it has to be positive. So this is negative, we'll get rid of it, only thing positive is need they. Moreover, the need is given over there in the question, so the answer choice also will have the need.